Within A Streetcar Named Desire and Medea, Tennessee Williams and Euripides utilize monologue to present the effects social expectations have on mental health. Within both texts, the women, Blanche and Medea respectively, are outcasts in their society. This is either due to their dubious nature of their lifestyle, or in Medea's case, the divorce of her husband. Within Streetcar, Blanche's character juxtaposes the social expectations due to the debauchery that made her a mess. We can see this within the monologue between Mitch and Blanche. As Blanche states on page 146, "Yes, I have had many intimacies with strangers. After the death of Alan, intimacies with strangers was all I seemed able to fill my empty heart with." This statement by Blanche kind of shows the desperation she experienced upon the death of Alan, her husband, and kind of represents the reason behind her actions. However, within the text, she's presented in a way as a loon, as seen by her conversations and her monologues and her weird dialogue choices and her unwillingness to be in the light. I think Tennessee Williams does this to show that Blanche may not be potentially all there. And while she is intelligent, being a school teacher, due to the death of her husband, her life has gone awry. And this is sort of done by Tennessee in order to present the idea that Blanche as a character has experienced great hardship and downfall as a result of the mockeries and the rumors based around her, as a result of her lifestyle going against what is traditionally accepted in society. This kind of also leads into her statement, "Yes, a big black spider, that's where I brought my victims." This kind of shows that she understands that she's kind of presented as having a controversial history. She's considered a charmer and a snake, as she supposedly leads men to their downfall, as rumored. Not necessarily death, but she does take advantage of them, as it's presented by Mitch's suspicion of her. This also kind of leads into Euripides' betrayal of Medea within Medea. As Medea is presented as being a sorceress and a very intelligent woman, however, due to the roles within society, she has no power without Jason, her husband, and being connected to him. This kind of leads into when she was thrown out of Corinth. But before that, before Creon visited her monologue from lines 220 to 260, she discusses the follies of her society and how women are the most wretched creatures. This kind of stems from the idea that within society, women don't have very many rights outside of the connection within the man. And Euripides, I believe, does this in order to convey the idea that women in intellect can be just as capable as men. However, due to the societal norms at the time, they're never able to grow and develop successful and prosperous ideas as a result of all their efforts in the society being dashed based upon the fact that they are, in fact, a woman. This kind of leads into her monologue, which can be deemed as rambling, as she's not necessarily directly talking to anybody on the stage. She's talking directly to the audience, kind of just expressing her thoughts. But it could be perceived as the ramblings of a mad woman, which is kind of, I believe, done purposefully by Euripides in order to kind of show how Jason's betrayal has affected, in fact, her mental state. And that can also lead to the fallacy of her killing her children to get back at Jason. Well, motherly instinct wouldn't necessarily support that, as killing your children goes against all facets of biology. But that kind of also shows how she goes against traditional norms because she lacks motherly instinct. But that can also stem from her her high status, relatively speaking, within society, and the ability to have the nurse. So she lacks a real connection with the children. However, it also could be presented as her being against the social norms of motherhood. And that kind of leads to the connection between both Medea and Blanche. As within both texts, Blanche and Medea both go against the societal expectations within the social structures of their everyday lives. As Blanche, in her case, has a rather dubious reputation, known for having the company of many men, while Medea is a witch and a sorceress and lacks any husband due to Jason's betrayal, which leads to all her credibility and all her status being dashed. And that kind of leads to their reputation in both texts, as Tennessee Williams represents Blanche as being unstable due to all the rumors and all the pressure put upon her by the society, as well as Medea, who, due to Jason's betrayal, went so far as to kill his lover and her own children in order to get back at him, which kind of represents her also deteriorating in her mental state, as seen by her monologue. In conclusion, within the text, both Tennessee Williams and Euripides present their characters in very similar manners, even though both texts were written in a long spans away from each other, which kind of presents the idea that they are presenting the effects of social expectations can have on mental state through their use of monologue within their characters.